Okay, now we're going to talk about Palmas for Soleá, Bulgaria, and Alegrias. It's basically the same phrasing as far as percussion goes. There will be differences depending on what the musicians are playing. But the main difference between Soleá, Bulgaria, and Alegrias, other than the styles of cante, because each one is a different style, it goes different places, it flows differently. But know that Soleá, Bulgaria is called a hondo form, or darker form, and Alegrias is called a chico form, or lighter form. So we have darker themes when it comes to Soleá, Bulgaria, and lighter themes when it comes to Alegrias. If you know that, then that'll automatically have an influence on how you play your percussion. But don't worry about that too much right now. That's just for your information for later. And you'll see that when we have live accompaniment with guitar, with dance, with cante. It'll bring both of those things to light, both of those styles to light. Right now, let's just talk about the basic accents. Now these are true 12s in that you can't really, I mean, you could find a way to do anything, but they typically do not just hold sixes over and over for this style. These are really phrased as 12s the entire time. That's not to say it gets boring and monotonous, because there's a lot of different things you can do. Since the 12 is not as fast as in a typical Bulgaria, it's slowed down a bit, you can get a lot more dense with how you play around the accents. And that's something we'll see in later videos as well. For right now, I'm going to give you a simple way of phrasing this particular style and a more complex way. But the complex way actually you might find easier because it swings a little bit nicer. But for right now, we're going to work on the following accents: 12, 3, 7, 8, and 10. So it's just like Bulgarias and 12, but this is going to be consistent. We're not going to really break it up as much as you can do in Bulgaria. It's going to be those accents, or those accents referenced pretty much at all times. Okay? So now Soleá, Bulgaria has a marching feel to it. So you want to keep it grounded with your palmas, and you want it to sound consistent, like it's really rolling, but like a marching kind of roll. So this is what I mean. First, let's do without variations. We're just going to do the accents, and I'm going to count them as I do them for your referencing. So we're going to go 12, 1, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it starts 12, 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you want to have that consistent roll. Now, that 3 is a big one, because a lot of times they'll cut on the 3 and then pick up on 7, 8. So I could conceivably go 12, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? That also happens on Alegrias. They like to have that space sometimes, not always. So now let's look at a way of phrasing that with variations. So in other words, just double palmas. The palmas are going to get a little more dense. If you know what the accents are already now, you practice what we just did and you have the accents down, 12, 3, 7, 8, and 10, then you can start to play a little bit. Okay? So a variation on that, and this is the more common way actually employs variations, is to do double palmas here and there. So we're going to go 12, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you cut on 10, just like in Bulgaria, cuts on 10. So you may have noticed that putting a good amount of space in the middle, when we do 4, 5, 6 with our palmas, they're just light because we're just marking time with them. We're not really trying to hit those too hard. They just got to be present, almost like a little metronome. It keeps everything together. And it's basically the bridge between how you began the compás, rising to get to the 3, 12, 1, 3, and the fall, which is 7, 8, 9. Okay? So you just want to keep those 3 palmas in between as the bridge between the rise and the fall. Good way to think about it. So it sounds like this: 12, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's the basic idea. Now you'll hear when we have accompaniment videos up with guitar, with baile, with cante, you'll hear right away differences in the guitar chords. They're completely different for Alegrias and Soleá Poblaría, and you'll hear much different styles of singing between Soleá Poblaría and Alegrias. As I mentioned before, Soleá is heavier and Alegrias is lighter. The themes of the cante are also heavier and lighter. When you hear the tones that the singer's hitting, also very different. So they're pretty easy to distinguish from each other. All we're really concerned about is making sure we know what that pulse is. And we'll start to apply these things later on in the accompaniment videos, which I'm very excited to bring you very soon in the coming weeks.